What's good, y'all? Ike the Scientist here, back with another video, and today we're going to talk about mycochemistry. It's known by many people that mushrooms have incredible health benefits, but what makes them so healthy? That's where mycochemistry comes in. Scientists have developed creative ways of identifying exactly what in mushrooms makes them so healthy. We do this through various biochemical assays. These are experiments that provide the qualitative and quantitative data needed to justify many of the health claims given to medicinal mushrooms. And I'm also doing these experiments, testing the very mushrooms I'm cultivating here in my home lab. Currently, I'm standardizing protocols for a series of assays that can tell you what compounds are in your products and at what concentrations. The first tier will consist of affordable colorimetric tests, and without going too far into it, growers will be able to utilize my services to analyze batches of their products and earn a certificate of analysis for research and medical grade approval. Now, obviously, medicinal mushrooms can be medicinal without a certification. Just like how you can have organic produce that's not organic certified. But before you write off what I'm offering, hear me out. Plenty of growers are making mushroom products, and some are doing it really well, and at scale. But how many of these growers are testing their products? What compounds are being extracted in their tinctures? And what are the concentrations of those compounds? Is it changing from batch to batch? Have you done any heavy metal testing? GMO testing? And that's just one side of it. What would you gain from being organic certified? As the producer, you gain trust and respect. The quality control and oversight accompanied with organic certification gives consumers more trust in the products they're buying. The consumer can know with a higher level of certainty that the products they are buying has been prepared safely, it's not going to kill them, and what the product is claiming to be is actually what it is. Now, what I'm offering is levels above organic certification. It's scientific metabolic analysis. It's concrete evidence so producers can make health claims about their products and have actual evidence and proof to show for it. Understand that the more trust a consumer has in your brand and the products they're buying, the more likely they are to come back. So if you knew of a way to increase that consumer producer trust, knowing it would lead to more consistent sales, wouldn't you opt for it? Of course you would. Be sure to subscribe and follow on Insta so you know exactly when we launch these services. Imagine having a nutritional facts label that listed the TPC, TFC, TAC, and more. What if you wanted to know if a certain strain or batch had more of a specific compound? These are just some of the things I've begun to think about since entering the medicinal mushroom space, and it's what's got me reading numerous research papers on this very topic, the chemical profile of medicinal mushrooms and their bioactivity. This is mycochemistry. We've recently seen an explosion of interest in DNA analysis of fungi thanks to popularizing figures like William Padilla Brown and Alan Rockefeller. Further advances in sequencing technology, such as Oxford's nanopore sequencers and Illumina's next-gen sequencing, has also contributed to this movement. I think this is very important research, and it pertains to mycochemistry as well. This can easily get beyond the scope of this video, but I will say specific gene clusters have been found to regulate the production of proteins responsible for producing these beneficial metabolic compounds. And so if you can sequence and identify these gene clusters, you can upregulate their transcription, ultimately producing more proteins, which will produce more of the compounds you want. At least that's the idea behind it. It's obviously more complicated than that, but I think you get the point. Comment below if you'd like me to make another video discussing more about fungal gene clusters and metabolomics. Scientists can create a structure-activity relationship, or SAR, to identify exactly what parts of a molecule are responsible for its bioactive effects, and then they can create analogs that may even work better than the original. I've actually done this on organic chemistry. As a class, we all started off with the penicillin derivative and performed various reactions with it in order to swap out functional groups. This allowed us to identify exactly what part of the molecule was responsible for its antibiotic effects. Once the reactions were completed, we tested our compounds using the Kirby-Bauer or disc diffusion test. This assay provided visible evidence of our compound's ability, or lack of, to inhibit the growth of bacteria. The larger the zone of inhibition, the more potent the antibiotic. A lack of a zone of inhibition meant our changes to the molecule's functional groups and overall structure disrupted the antibiotic mechanism. We were able to identify critical information that can guide future drug synthesis, such as what parts of the molecule required single bond character in order to allow for rotational freedom. Also, where aromatic rings were needed, but they couldn't be too big in order for the molecule to fit in hydrophobic pockets. And the list goes on. Looping this back to mycochemistry, we may have identified many of the compounds found in commonly cultivated medicinal mushrooms, such as reishi, but SARs haven't been made for each of them, and all the possible analogs from those natural products haven't been made or characterized yet either. All this to say there's so much more science to be done, and more discoveries to be made. I think we need more people focusing on the biochemistry side of medicinal mushroom and plant products. Hopefully I sparked your interest. Thanks for watching.